Again. In this video, we're going to be discussing production and HR. Well, what you can do here is control the production schedule. It means the actual units that are going to be produced. Be reminded here that this is the sales forecast that you put in the marketing department, and it's very, very important to remember that this is not always the case. Here, it means because you had a higher forecast last year in the marketing department because of the shortage of supply. Here it's the maximum that you can produce, but typically it should be much less than the amount that you can produce. In this very extraordinary scenario, it's going to be equal to the maximum amount that you are going to be producing. But ideally, you'd like to produce more than that number by, like, let's say 3%, something like that. Okay, maybe even more, 10%. Don't be afraid. So if I could produce, like, if that's the actual case and that's my pessimistic marketing number, then what I should be putting here is like 1950, okay, 2000, something like that. So it's fine. However, what I'm gonna do here is put as much as I can, which is 1800, and beware that the actual production that's gonna be introduced to the market is this number, which is production after adjustment. You're guaranteed to sell that much. But for just the sake of educational purposes, I don't want you to make that mistake in the exam. Let's assume this is going to be this is our pessimistic sales forecast, and here that's the optimistic, which is going to be like a number that's higher by 10%, or I say 10% might be a little bit extreme, could be 5%, 3% based on your expectations, but I tend to take risks. And be reminded that you might actually stack out, so you'd like to have these extra units. So it's going to be 1500 here, but you're going to be producing above that number. The second option, you can't produce Apple and associates because they have not been introduced to the market. This one's going to be introduced to the market next year, and you're going to be able to sell from it for 8 months, as we said in R&D, and this one's going to be selling for only 10 days. What this means, it's going to be selling for 10 days, might as well not sell at all. So I'm not going to buy any capacity for that, or just for the sake of buying capacity, I'm going to buy capacity 1. However, be reminded that the actual capacity for ACE is going to be, huge, not huge, but I'd say like maybe 700. 700 is a good number, 800, based on your sales forecast for that product in high tech. You don't really know, but I'd say 800, 700 is good. With low automation, 2.5 is going to be fine. And that investment, you're not going to make it right now, because if you make it right now, you're only going to be selling for 10 days according to R&D. Remember that R&D actually matters, revision date matters. So you can see here R&D, it's going to be only 10 days and then the year is going to start. So it means that you don't want to invest at all. And then this has priority investing. But the one with the highest priority investing is this one, because it's going to be most appealing and you already have the capacity for that. Plus the age at the beginning of next year is going to be 3. So you're going to be selling that product from 3 to 4 and you want to invest in that. And ideally, what you do while you invest is invest in automation for low-tech. So you want to increase the automation. In this case, we want to produce more next year. Why? Because we both agree that marketing department, we said that there's going to be shortage in supply, and if only could we produce more than this number. However, we could not. So next year, we want to be able to produce more than this number. So let's say we're going to invest 200 units. So we can sell like the forecasted number, here, which is that one. We're going to be able to produce 2200 units next year. How did I get that number? 900 plus 200 is going to be 1100 times 2, which is going to be 2200 next year. So we can't produce it right now, but we're going to be able to produce next year, hopefully. And then I'm going to buy capacity for Apple. There's no such an ingenious way for determining the number of capacity. You usually just put any random number based on your own expectations. How much do you think you're going to be selling from Apple? Remember that you said you are going to be selling Apple in the high tech next year because it was the best of the worst. If you don't know why, please go back to R&D department. I'm not going to explain that. So let's say 500 is good, or actually 600. And as I said, there's no logic beside that, but I expect to sell that much with automation of 2 point two for now, and then I'm going to leave that. I'm going to recalculate. Please be aware that this number 18,000, which is 18 million, is the maximum you can invest here. Capsim yells at you. It tells you, oops, you can't invest that much because it exceeds the maximum allowed investment. So might want to decrease that investment. Actually, you can or might want to decrease that number or decrease the automation here. Just let's say we're going to decrease that number. As I said, I prioritize this. It's all about priorities in investing, okay? You don't always have to invest. We need to cut down a little bit more. Maybe I'll just say this is fine. And you don't always have to invest to the maximum because, you want to have some money left in, for finance. But you might not always be able to cover huge investments. Here, I'm trying to cover to the maximum. And in I still haven't taken any look at finance, but we're going to be taking a look at finance in just a minute. So let's go to finance right now. I hope the production schedule makes sense. We put the number which is here. If you ask me why did we set the automation 2, because if we set it higher than this, then it's going to be more expensive and it's going to exceed the maximum allowed investment in production HR. Maybe we can just increase it by let's say 70, just to have this abused to the maximum. So let's see if that works or not. No, it's actually not working. So it's going to be ideally 65, I'd say. Well, I know that there's going to be shortage in supply of high-tech products, so I'm going to be producing next year. I have a plan. What I'm doing is I'm planning for next year. So I'm planning to produce this much and sell it for high-tech. Okay, I'm not trying to provide anything for low-tech this year because I know that isn't going to be appealing, but there is going to be appealing for high-tech. So I'm going to charge high prices for the next 2 years for that product. And then in 2 years, I'm going to have a big investment in that product, Apple, and make the automation 7, 5, something like that. I increase the capacity by 100, stuff like that, maybe. And that's the case. Maybe I'm going to sell capacity in 2 years because I want the market share to be divided equally by these two products. Maybe Apple's going to be more appealing than Able at some point. So it's all about priorities. You want to invest in the product that's most appealing, that is likely to have more sales next year than the others. So Ace, we didn't invest that much because, it's only going to sell for 10 days. So why the heck would I invest in that? I hope that makes sense. Now, notice that we got lucky here with the numbers. It's actually matching. Let's go to finance. It's very easy because you are very limited in the options that you can make in finance. Okay, if it's a red number, it means that you can only issue long-term debt. Don't be afraid to issue it to the max. 5464. Why shouldn't you be afraid from issuing that long-term debt to the max? Because it's going to be repaid in 10 years and you're only going to be playing for 4 years. So you're not going to pay the principal amount at all because it's going to be paid in 10 years, as I said. However, you're going to be paying an interest rate of 8.80% every year, which is not that big of a deal. But you guys get the point, right? Maybe if this number is still red or if it's not above your safety margin, you can issue new stocks. Let's say I want it to be here 3,500, okay? So I want to issue 1,130,000, okay? That's issuing a stock. And that's pretty much it for the finance department. You can issue long-term debt and you can issue stocks in case this number is red. However, if you have way too much cash, and I don't think you guys will come across these too often, maybe in the last 2 rounds, then you want to increase the ANR. Actually, you want to increase, first of all, the accessibility. And you can just take a look at the notes here. In case of surplus of cash, then retire stocks, and that's the priority. Yes, retiring stocks is very important in case of too much cash. Maybe it leaves more room for risks. It means that you can be more pessimistic in marketing and you can produce more. And then retire debt, increase AR to increase the demand. Accounts receivable means that your customers are going to have more time to repay their debt, and then give away dividend. Well, hopefully it makes sense, but in most cases we're going to be issuing debt and sometimes stocks. Maybe in the last two rounds we're going to be retiring stocks and increasing accessibility budget. Here let me just write down increasing, which is very important, increasing accessibility budget to the max. All right, and awareness as well. Please note that awareness budget is going to be fixed at some point. So when you reach 100% awareness, there's a minimum amount that you can spend on awareness to keep it at 100% using the method that I discussed in the video of the marketing department. For now, before you submit your decisions, okay, we seem to be good. Here are the decisions that we made at R&D before you submit the round. Just check everything really quick. Able, okay, so we modified that product. Now the age is within the range, it's approaching 3. It's going to sell for 4 months, then it's going to be cut in half, then it's going to be approaching 3 for 8 months, which is okay. And then Apple is a new product that's going to be selling for the next 2 years for high tech, and then it's intended for low tech, but in 2 years it's gonna have appealing age for the low tech, and in a year you're gonna make a big investment, you know. So before the year that you plan, this product is gonna be appealing. Before that, a year ahead of that, you'd like to make a big investment in that in terms of like capacity and automation. But by then you'd like to be investing in Able more. And actually next year you'd like to invest in this product because this year you did not make a big investment. However, the biggest investment is going to be going to this product, and then Apple. So it's all about priority and investing. And that's it for this department. And there is not really much you can do in marketing department aside from setting the price. I just set that price to be high. Typically you want to set it at 35 because the range, that's the maximum you can set. But because of the calculations that we made, I'll keep it at 38 because I guarantee that everything, you know, I want to produce more, but I can't because I expect to sell much more than I calculate much more than this number. Well, sorry, this number here and this number here in my forecast. This is me being very, very pessimistic. Anyway, so this, and as I said, you just look to the marketing part video for the tricks for promo and sales. And then here's Able. We expected very good years of sales. We said maximum number. You want to decide your priorities. We understand. We hope that we could have produced more, but we couldn't. So we invest more capacity in Able, which is not usually the case for. It's not going to be the case for the complex. For the complex exam, let's check that number. Where is it? Yeah, here. So it's gonna be you're gonna be competing against 3 companies, not 2, and every company is gonna have 2 products, not 1. So it's a completely different case. But I hope that you get the point. But you're gonna do the same steps here for the sales forecast. Remember that the sales forecasting is the most important mechanism that you can implement here, and your winning is gonna be dependent on increasing your awareness, the trick that I told you, and having good sales forecast using both methods. Anyways, so you can see there's, you know, sometimes it's not always going to be stock outs. There are going to be units in inventory, and there's going to be high competition. So in determining the price for low tech, it's going to be somewhere between, you know, it's going to be like that, either 32, 33, maybe 35. It's fine if you know you have better MTBF, better age, and better other factors. Okay, just do as I explained here in the Excel sheet. And finally, go to the finance department. Make sure that this number is not red and that your cash is not way too much. And I told you what you do if this number is red and if your cash is not too much. And before you submit everything, you're going to go to the performance, the balance scoreboard, because this is actually what you are going to be graded on. So here the stock price is fine, it's okay. Remember that the first round is not going to be great, but then it's going to be only, you know, where you set your strategy for the coming rounds. Plan utilization, you made a maximum investment. Typically you don't want to make a maximum investment, you know, because here I just put it maximum, but you know, sometimes it doesn't have to be the maximum. Stuck out course, I'm not like, I expect not to stuck out, but I'm sure actually I'm gonna stuck out. So I'm gonna list these points. Inventory carrying cost, I'm gonna actually gonna have stuck out, so I'm gonna get 5 here. Customer buying criteria, it's not that good because of the price is gonna be high for low tech customers, but for customer awareness, it's gonna be always, this trick is very important. It's like 5 out of 5 in customer awareness. And then accessibility, I'm not sure why this is not good, but probably I think maybe you want to increase the accessibility. If it's 0, maybe increase it a little bit more, but I think after you make the sales, then accessibility is fine. SGA is always easy, 5 out of 5, and then that doesn't count. As I said, during the first round, you actually are going to get better statistics in these because you're being very pessimistic in marketing, so you get the point. Just review this balance scorecard and see if you can do anything, then process the round to see how we did. Okay, so before we can process it, remember that I said I'm only raising the price because I wanted to show you guys that no matter what I sell at any price is gonna be fine. So I'm gonna do update official decisions, and here process round. Okay, so I expect to stock out if my sales forecasting is correct, and I expect to have very good potential market share. So I expect that my potential market share is, let's see here, should be greater than the actual market share because I stocked out. All right, what's going on? All right, this is not it. I'm gonna reload this. All right, so reload it, and then let's check that again. All right, much better than last year. So I have 13% return sales, and then good statistics. They good, basically market share improved as well. If you compare that to around 0 report, then that's very good. As I said, so the stock price was revived, like was brought back to life. It has the highest exchange among other companies. However, I expect that I stocked out. Let's see page 4 production. Yes, exactly. I stocked out, as you can see, and I could have sold much more. Look at that product. I bet it's not as good, but it sold that much. But because it had capacity to produce it, and now I have more capacity to produce, and I have this, so hopefully I'll make bigger sales next year. As you can see, I could have sold much more, and this guy shouldn't have sold that much, but because of the lack of production ability, I could not do that. And though I have a very high price, relatively very high, I still got good, better customer survey score than this guy because of the age. I wouldn't say merely the age only, but yeah, because of the age and the MTBF, it's very important. Actually, it gives you competitive edge. And that's it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Good luck, stay warm, and yeah, good luck in the midterm and the complex. Bye.